What up, y'all? It's the show off DJ Statik Selektah. You watching BREALTV. This new album is different than all my old albums because I kind of like went with the jazz vibe on this one, like completely. Like every song has like live horns and live bass and jazz samples. Like I try to take what Tribe Called Quest did and kind of mix it with NWA. Like hearing Freddie Gibbs, you know, do gangster rap over saxophone is dope, man. I just want to keep that vibe going. And also, a couple of years ago, I was in the studio with Kanye in Hawaii, and Nas was with us, and he was like, "Yo, Statik, play Kanye the beat that you just did for me, whatever." So Nas walks out of the room, and it's just me and Kanye, and I play the beat, and he's sitting there, he's like, press a stop after about 20 seconds. He's like, "It's cool, but jazz is dead." I'm like, it was a Kanye moment. So in my head, I always wanted to do a jazz album just because he said that. So this is the one. And yeah, what goes around. Like whoever I choose to be on songs is definitely off relationships and who I hear in a certain song. Like everybody on my albums, I consider either like most of them are good friends of mine, and if not, there's some new friends on there too. Like me and Boldy James met probably like a year ago, and he came through. MC Search is a mutual friend, and he came through the lab, and we just knocked that song out. And it wasn't for my album. It was for whatever. But it ended up fitting it. So I was like, yo, I'm going to put that on there. He's like, word up. And then it's dope to see him a year later signing with Nas and where he's at now. And, you know, now he came up to the radio show and all that. Like, it's cool, like, building new relationships. But for the most part, everybody on there has been a friend of mine for years. And, you know, especially with the new talent, man, like Joey and Pro Era and all them, it's like I live with these guys pretty much because I'm on the road with them like over 200 days a year. So that's a whole different process of making music because we talk about ideas and they come together on tour buses and flights, and you never know where an idea might come from. The record Carry On, which Gibbs ended up getting on eventually, that record was just Joey at first, and we recorded in his basement bugging out, and like I didn't even know what I was going to do with it. And it's just funny how like now it became the single and the video's coming out next week. So you never know, you know, it's just rolling with the homies. I think every record in the album has a different, you know, place in my heart or whatever, but my favorite record, one of them is probably the Imperial with Black Thought, Action Bronson, and Royce the 5'9", just because the way the record came together was real dope. It started like a real simple beat, and then like grew into this like one of the most complex music-wise, it's one of the most complex tracks I ever did because there's like so much live horns and live bass, and the beat keeps changing, and the progression on it really, you know, I could listen to that instrumental all day, not even because of what I did on it, just like the musicians that came in and how we dropped out different sounds at different times and sequenced it, and plus Black Thought spit 54 bars and killed everybody, so it's always dope to work with him. One of the funnest joints to record on the album was probably Long Time, featuring Action Bronson, because it was like in the middle of the sessions for his album that's about to come out. And just, it's always like food and weed and just jokes, man. So anytime me and Action record together, it's a good time. But that record in particular was like the first song me and Action did like back in our zone, because we had been like on tour for so long separately that I hadn't seen him in a long time. And no pun intended, it's called a long time. And he came through probably like 6 months ago, 7 months ago. And actually now it was last year. And we just got in that zone and knocked out a bunch of records. And that was actually for his album, and he gave it to me for mine. But I have a bunch of other stuff on his album, so that was a fun record. Most of the songs on the album are recorded right here. But obviously, due to time and schedules, someone like Bun B, who actually has recorded here many times, he sent me his verse from Texas. And Snoop obviously sent his verse from L.A., but when I got that call from Snoop, it bugged me out, man. Like that was a pleasant surprise, man. I didn't expect that when I started working on the album. So that was one that you can't, you know. I have so many stories about other songs that I recorded like with the artist, but with someone like Snoop, it's like, come on, I'll take whatever I can get.